Welcome to the Behavioral View.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Behavioral View Hot Topics episode, last episode of 2022. I am Shannon Hill. I'm editor-in-chief at CR Institute, and I'm here with our regular panel members. Nissa, you're next on my screen. You want to say who you are and what you do?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Nissa. I'm the manager of assessment and clinical training here at CentralReach.
And I'm Kerri Millico, director of clinical programming at CentralReach.
And I'm really excited today to be having a different background. I know I've moved and I keep coming up with different backgrounds.
Where is Shannon today?
Where in the world? I am at CR headquarters. So I have all of this loveliness. You guys can see the lights, but trust me, the building itself is gorgeous. And, you know, we had decided that we would like to use this final episode, not only to be celebrating, I'm wearing some reindeer earrings for anyone who didn't notice, but to just throw out some thank yous, some shout outs to people who are doing some really good work in behavior analysis, or maybe not even directly in behavior analysis, but putting good things out there in the world. So kind of thought we would just go round robin style. And I know all of us came up with our own way of coming up with this list of who we want to shout out to. So you can just talk people through that. Kerri, you want to go first?
Okay. So when I was making, I have like caveats. So when I was making my list, I was trying, because I tried to not pick friends because I could totally go down the friend list and talk about all my friends who are doing great work, because I know tons of friends and people who are doing amazing things. So all my friends out there, I love you and you are doing fabulous work and keep on doing that. I also tried to not pick former guests, because we've talked a lot about you anyways, and you're doing fabulous work and the world knows about that anyways. However, I did break one of my rules. I do talk about a former guest just because this person has been doing some stuff since we had them on and they were one of our first guests. So, but that's it. So with that said, I will go ahead and start with that individual. My first person is Jonathan Tarbox. I've known him for almost 20 years. If you all watched his episode, we talk about like my first meeting with him. We went to grad school together, and I've seen kind of the evolution of him, and it's been really cool. But even as of late, and which is what put him on my list, he is a very privileged, very educated, brilliant white man who has been leveraging his privilege in really amazing ways. And I feel that he could be sitting comfortably in a academia position, just doing research and getting those accolades and getting those editorial positions and and just living that sweet life. But he specifically puts himself in uncomfortable positions to move our field forward in the interest of advocacy and better care of the people that we serve as a field and as an industry. So I also see him saying things of like, I don't know this, and I lift other people up and saying like, I learned this from this person. I also see him expanding his circle and learning from other people in the community. I also see him like having his circle become diverse and learning from like diverse members, if it's racial diversity or if it's like disability community and stuff like that. And I also see him not hesitate to advocate when his Vita and like his career could be on the line. So with that, Jonathan, you made my top 5 list. Thank you so much for all that you do. With that, I just want to say that I see you, I see your work. And with that, I think our field is in forward motion to being better.
Love that. Walking the walk.
Yeah.
Nissa, who's first on your list? Or how did you go about doing your list before we launch into who's on it?
I went a little bit of a different route. I definitely chose individuals that inspire me and the work that I do, or inspire me to be my honest self when I bring myself to work. Whether that work was inspirational into the trainings I develop or into how I perceive kind of what I want to contribute to the field. Some are individuals that I know as, I wouldn't say close friends, but people I've interacted with in some capacity, and some I've never interacted with. I've just followed their work through social media, through LinkedIn. So my first nomination is for Dr. Bridget Taylor, and her work, she's been in the field a long time and been such a great leader, but really the compassionate care paper that was written in 2019 and bringing that kind of to the forefront of our field in terms of looking at how parents perceive compassionate care when working with behavior analysts. And she was on my dissertation committee, and I really enjoyed those interactions and learning kind of how her mind works in terms of bringing compassion from healthcare, from nurses and doctors, and allowing that to inform how we become compassionate practitioners in our field. So that's my first nomination.
Like it. Well, I kind of thought of it in different buckets of my life, right? So I wanted to lift up, first of all, someone locally. I bring up being from a small service circle state, and that does not mean that because we don't have necessarily a large field of behavior analysts that we don't have an awesome field of behavior analysts, and we do. And so, to all of you in Mississippi practicing, it's not that I don't love each and every one of you and think you're all doing awesome jobs, but I want to throw a shout out to DeTerrence Allen. DeTerrence is a behavior analyst in Mississippi. He's currently working on his PhD. He works with Mississippi Behavioral Services, which is an African-American owned business. Last I checked, they were the only BHCOE accredited company in Mississippi. And just talking with him is so delightful. All the things that he's doing to recruit people into this field, to stay, performance management. Everything, DEI, everything that we're considering right now from the high viewpoint in behavior analysis, he's doing every day in his life and trying trying all of the things that the evangelists of behavior analysts say that we should be doing. He's putting into place in my backyard. And I really, really appreciate that.
That must be fun to watch.
It is fun to watch. And it's something that I can I've already asked, can I please come watch in person? So I can. Yeah.
Yeah. So
what's your next person, Kerri?
All right. Next person. Oh, and I feel like I need to revise my say why I said not friends. And then I talked about someone that I've been friends with for 20 years. Not people that I have dinner with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Okay. Margaret Solomon. So she owns a business called Across Environments, also has an Instagram handle by that name that talks about, if you guys go on IG and there's a fun ABA community on there that does a whole bunch of posts about other people's works and stuff like that. But she posts a lot on Instagram, and I love the work that she posts on there. But I first got to know about the work that she does from her talk at WEBA. And it was, and her organization is in Colorado. And her talk at WEBA was values-based business management, and really talking about ethical practices when running your organization and bringing compassionate care with respect to RBTs, right? And bringing values work at a management level. And I just really loved hearing her talk and seeing the data and the work that they're doing there, and then continuing to be a follower of hers, and then interacting with other people that know her, and knowing that she like walks the walk. And so when we are hearing about RBT burnout and how this field has can crush practitioners, it is really great to know that there's people out there who are striving to create really healthy workplace environments for people, and
Yeah.
are using our science to allow other people to use their science for our clients, right? And so with that, like Margaret Solomon, I just want to say that we thank you. I thank you, got my eyes on you, and thank you for doing the great work that you're doing. And other people should also check out your work that you're doing, and mimic and the work that you're doing in their organizations as well.
It's fantastic. I know we're going around Robin, but mine feeds right into Kerri's.
Go for it.
We're skipping.
Mixing it up.
One of the coolest parts of my job really is getting to talk to people in organizations about how they want to use our training content and what other content we need to be developing to help them meet their goals. And honestly, there are several that I could have thrown out, several names. So I had a hard time choosing just one, but I did want to call out Shelley Margot. Kerri, I think you met Shelley at CR Unite. But they are doing some things. Well, one of the things that we're getting a lot of requests for are how do we train people, do upskilling basically through the professional development ladder. And that's one of the things that Shelley is working on, and it's just so fascinating to watch the minds of people who are running clinics and planning for the future and how we're going to recruit top talent, how we're going to train not only to meet those basic competencies, but to be a truly skilled clinician. How are we going to keep them? How are we going to nurture them through training the next set of people? And so I just wanted to say, I see that. I like that. I thank you to all of you organizations who are trusting us to help you upskill. That is a big deal to be trusted with that. So thank you very much, Shelley, and everyone else out there who's doing similar work.
All right. I'm on number 2 as well, right? I'm
Yeah.
going through my list. This individual is someone that I did work with in the past, and it is someone that I would consider a friend. So it does kind of veer off that list. However, this is for Dr. Rob El Fatal. He is a wonderful colleague and mentor of mine, but in a recent podcast that he shared, and Kerri, you were brave enough to be on the podcast, he hosted a number of leaders in our field who were brave enough to speak up to ABAI's kind of response to the CSS kind of controversy that was happening. And I think that podcast, that recording was very much a beautiful and brave sharing of a number of leaders in our field speaking out on something that has been a topic of conversation. And I thought, what a great forum and way of bringing together such passionate clinicians and researchers and individuals to share their perspective, and just to reach out to them and say, hey, are you willing to share your own personal value on this? So I want to thank you, Dr. El Fatal, for recording that, reaching out to our colleagues and sharing that information with our field.
I'll second that one. It was amazing.
It's powerful.
Very much.
Rob and I are having wine on Friday, actually.
Oh.
I mean, remotely.
Hello, Rob. I mean, if you're going to have dinner with Nissa and Kerri, why not me?
We gotta have a live recording there. That would be fun.
That's right. You just made the list, Rob.
Apparently, you're getting invited for 2023. All right. My number 3 is Dithu Rajaraman. I have yet to meet him, but I'm going to stalk him at Calaba this year. Actually, Kristen is presenting with him. And he is doing some phenomenal work at Vanderbilt with just ethical approaches to really severe, dangerous behaviors. And as a response, this pairs nicely to what you were just talking about, Nissa, right? So that, all of those things that we recorded was our response to saying that we believe that shock is no longer is not a contemporary application for ABA in reducing dangerous behaviors. And there's evidence showing that with similar behaviors of same intensity, same topography, right, with individuals, that there's safer approaches to dealing with that. And that research comes out of Dr. Raja Raman's lab, and as well as others. And so it's so great that he's, focusing on trauma-informed care. And it's really the work that needs to be done. And, not a lot of people are doing this type of work and expanding it into this type of population. I know that this is a population that I haven't worked with, but I love that he's doing it. And, there's people that you talk about trauma-informed care and they kind of snicker and stuff like that. But like, once you have the data, once you have the research, you can't really snicker anymore, right? And so I love that he's bringing this into it and really, again, advancing our field and bringing in that televisibility aspect to it and allowing us to be humane and compassionate in addition to being ethical. So with that, I'm gonna buy you a drink at Calaba. So I can't wait to meet you, and thank you for all of your amazing work. And I can't wait to see all the great things that he, and again, and the cool thing is that he's a professor, so that he is continuing to teach others to do this work, and all of his students that are learning in his lab. So with people like him, it gets me excited and hopeful for what's to come in our field. I'm so excited about that. So that's why he's on my list.
Nice. All right, Nissa, we're staring at each other.
Oh, I was going to say,
I know. Change up the order here.
Change the rotation.
Don't know where to go.
The next person is trauma-informed care.
So, it just kind of flows.
I'm starting to feel like maybe I need to go first.
No, you have to go now because she's the OG. Yeah, I see your list, and she's kind of the OG, so you got to go. Right?
Exactly. I mean, my next bucket was people that I want to bring on the behavioral view who haven't gotten here yet. So, and
that's stalking people, huh?
Yes. Also, it's a long list, but probably number one on my wish list is Dr. Camille Kalu. Please come on our show.
We're really fun and we're nice. We say stalking with quotes around it. It's
very, very easy,
intellectual devotion, nice, with flowers and chocolates.
Girl, it's really all it is. And I mean, there's no murder or anything like that. It's just all
no binoculars.
None of that. No, because trauma-informed care, I have been a fan for a long time because my practice did involve a lot of very traumatic histories, and I knew it. And then when you think about all the number of cases that you're dealing with when you don't know. So I'm not going to belabor the point. I think everybody knows who she is. And thank you for your work. Thank you for setting this ground that has opened this up. I know going out there first sometimes can be scary. People make fun of you and snicker and all of that. So I appreciate the trailblazing and would love to bring you on the show.
There's always got to be that one person who gets bruised by making the barrier into the wall. But after that, it makes it easy for everyone else to go through. But you gotta, so much respect to that person who gets a little banged up being the first one.
Absolutely. Certainly. All right, Nissa.
We are on number 3. My nomination for this individual, we have not met in person.
I like that it's a nomination.
I know, we're like all these people that we kind of intellectually suck, but
we've seen them in LinkedIn, social media. This is for Dr. Yev Averka out of University of Washington, someone who, I've had numerous email interactions with, social media. She is the leader of the ABA Reform Coalition and is doing amazing work, has published the paper as a behavior analyst and also a parent on ABA services for her child on the spectrum. And just, I think, for my very minimal interactions and knowledge of Dr. Viverka, it's really someone who is passionate about keeping in line with a lot of what's coming out in our field and making sure that the services that are being delivered are assent-based and, fully informed of trauma-informed care, compassionate care. And she also has a nice role at UW in managing and supporting future behavior analysts. Mm-hmm. So my nomination is for Yev in being brave and speaking up about her experience as a behavior analyst and a parent of an individual.
I'm looking around. All right, I see something. Continue. I'm going to go get it.
She's a good one. We met, we talked a bit, was it earlier this year? Gosh, I think ever since I started working from home, I have no concept.
Everything rolls together. It's the same month.
It is. Yeah. But no, she's a good one. And also she just invited Adrienne Bradley to do a talk about just the ABA reform movement and cultural considerations around that.
Yes.
Which was an amazing talk. Adrienne also, just like every time she speaks, you should listen. So it was an amazing presentation.
What did you get?
It's an award. I looked around. There's a shelf beside me.
This is our award that we're giving people.
That's right. Congratulations. Here's your Stevie.
The Stevie Award. Now we aren't that amazing at stocking in that we cannot ship those out.
No.
Yeah, thanks for that clause there, Nissa. FYI.
You will not be receiving one at your home. Do not be that afraid of us.
I just watched that Pepsi documentary on Netflix. FYI. There's a little clause here we're going to say. These are not coming in the mail to you.
These are not coming. Your award is digital. Here it is.
Your award is
watching this podcast
in our social comms.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Where are we? Round 4?
I think I'm heading off. Okay. This person, I do consider a friend, but we met through, like professional realms, is Robin Williams. Although I do know multiple Robin Williams. My professor's wife is Robin Williams, but this is not who it is. Robin Williams is a BCBA in Orlando. And I first met her when she was presenting at the Standard Celebration conference. We were bringing in some speakers for, we had always had DEI, where we started having DEI talks, and she was hosting a workshop and she was presenting at DEI. And just an incredible presenter, incredible, just super knowledgeable. But then I hadn't seen her in a while, because then it was COVID, and she's presented again at the conference, was one of our keynotes, and again just blew everyone away. And then finally met up again in real life at WEBA just this past year, and so. And we're looking to do some collaboration in the future. But she is the owner of Simplify Behavior, which is a consulting company, but she also works in the education system. And what also she does a lot of work and does some workshops around is bringing behavior analysis into the juvenile settings, like juvenile justice settings, which is oh my gosh,
such a need,
right? Mm-hmm. Nobody's doing this work. And I always see her just reaching out and collaborating with people and bringing, she also is doing stuff with, just bringing in, her knowledge about creating systems of equality and bringing it into the education settings and stuff like that. So she is she's just building, like, right, like looking ways in which she can build and create structures and creating collaborations. And when we speak about behavior analysts not playing in the sandbox with others, that is not Robin. Robin is finding ways to build and create in nuanced ways, in ways in which like other people have no idea how to do it. So like, Robin, you impress the pants off of me every single time that I see you doing something. And if Robin ever comes to you and says,
we're taking our pants off. What?
hey, it's a saying, and my husband keeps on telling me, stop using your sayings. They're like terrible. But you know what? It's my charm. I'm going to do it. Sometimes they get me in trouble, but if Robin ever comes to you, if Robin Williams ever comes to you and says, hey, do you want to collaborate together? Your answer needs to be yes.
Yeah.
Because it will only serve you well and you will be the better for it. And actually the world is going to be better for it, because any sort of thing that you would produce together with Robin is going to be 10 times better than if you were ever to do it alone. So with that, Robin, keep on building in all of these areas that behavior analysts are not building in, and keep on making these amazing collaborations. So with that, eyes on you, my dear.
Wow. Now I really want to know Robin.
Robin, she's fabulous. Yes. And you can follow, she too is on Instagram. I think it's more, I think it's based on her business name, Simplified Behavior. Has great posts on Instagram.
Very cool. All right. My number 4. I did some opposite decision making than what you did, Kerri, but we ended up with the same result, which was I was intentionally choosing a former guest. One shout out, someone who has come on the show, and I chose Moppy Chavez because never in my life have I felt so lazy as when we were talking with Moppy.
Right. Like, wow, I have not made any difference in the world.
I'm doing nothing. I complain about I can't get enough done in Mississippi. She's taking on a whole continent. Century virus.
Not even a country. It is an entire continent.
Whole continent. And I mean, to talk about being a trailblazer and really disseminating, and I am amazed. So if anyone watching this has not seen that episode, we'll drop in what the episode number is so that you can find it quickly. But Moppy's work distributing
season 1, right?
It's in season 1, yeah. Throughout South America. So you should see that episode. You should go see all the work that she's doing, the way that they are managing to do this, and ways that you can help, because we dropped in some of that information as well.
Another impressive human being.
Absolutely.
Sure.
100%.
That's amazing. I've got to watch that episode.
Yeah.
That should have been my homework.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll like that homework.
Nissa, you didn't like make your eyes bleed by watching all of the episodes before you came on?
I watched 3. And I figured, you know what, we would have fun no matter what we did.
Behavior analysts, the rule of 3.
3, that was good. I was going to jump in.
Yeah, baseline.
Dove in head first.
Yeah.
My 4th individual is someone that is a friend, and a friend that I was actually paired with, I think 4 years ago, for a talk at WEBA. So we had never met before, and we both wanted to talk about managing our practice as behavior analysts and parenthood. And we spoke at WEBA on having your cake and eating it too, kind of how to time manage as a mom as well as a behavior analyst. So this individual is AJ Rodriguez. And she did speak at this most recent WEBA. She is an amazing public speaker. It was really difficult to match her energy and her level, but she does such a nice job bringing her passion to her talk. And, you know, the reason I chose her was she, and we talk about this often in our episodes, is she's taken her own experience and training as a behavior analyst and moving out into, you know, launching it into a new realm of practice. So she's in fitness, and she's gone from working in autism services and is now on Team ABA. She does a lot of their training and their content development. and is just a wonderful colleague and advocate for moving beyond our practice and our science and applying it to other individuals in other fields. So this nomination is for her. She inspires me as just an individual, managing all of it and maintaining professionalism and who she really is. And I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think I may follow her. I follow Team ABA, but she may have somebody posted recently about what they ate during the day. And I was like,
oh yeah,
I think I want more carbs.
How do I get more carbs?
And it looks really healthy. No, I love Team ABA. That's awesome. And good for her. That's fantastic. Good work.
All
I
right.
think we're on to number 5.
Final round.
Oh, I felt like it just went. Okay.
It's fun to do this.
Okay. Okay. My last and final one is Tara Vance. Not a BCBA, but is a former teacher and has a master's in IO psychology, but is I don't know what the actual title is, director or executive director, something like owner. I don't know if it's necessarily owner of a website called Neuroclassic. Now, some people, like, there's sometimes some anti-ABA stuff on there, but the thing is that their activism, she's an autistic advocate, and their activism actually, I think, was the precipice of the ABAI vote. And their exhaustive, unpaid work has led to informing a lot of people of things that autistics experience and a lot of the things that were occurring at JRC. And I've never met someone so passionate, so informed, and so gutsy in my life that, like, sometimes like, oh, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can call this person and tell them these things. She's like, oh, no. Yeah, I have no problem. I'm going to pick up phone. I'm going to call this person. I call this person. And the amazing thing is that she now has like amazing, beautiful, healthy relationships with all these leaders in our field, even though she had like really hard, difficult conversations with them, talking to them about really hard, difficult things about our field, that the first conversation was probably like initially shut down, right? Because like we just generally don't want to hear that stuff, right? But that relationship was nurtured and fostered, and she, she's like, oh, maybe I, said a little too hard. And she, but she finds ways to nurture these relationships to now she's like, oh yeah, and I'm not going to name these people, but like, she has all of these amazing, I'm like, how are you friends with all these people? Look at your network. This is incredible. People on all these boards, people and presidents and like all of these societies and stuff like that. And she has this incredible network who has helped leverage, I think, a lot of this movement. But the great thing is that she was so passionate in educating and didn't let fear stop her, because she was like, we just, like, this is my like mission in life. And that is just incredible to me. And the work that she has done, which then has educated other people who have educated me. Like, I have been fortunate enough to like learn, not some, like now I'm learning from her, but also other people who have learned from her and other people, like just the advocacy work is, should not go unnoticed. So there's other people who have done the work in our field, but I don't think that people in our field could have done the work without her doing it first. So with that, I just wanted the world to actually acknowledge that, like, the disability community and the autistic community have been working for decades to make, like, and even just like ABAI making a decision is kind of like a drop in the bucket. Like, and it doesn't necessarily, like, it's not like a change, it hasn't necessarily happened, like that thing is still happening, but I think it marks a point in our field and saying like, you know what, we kind of just don't want it to happen anymore. Like we made a statement saying not happen. And I think it also lets the disability community know where we stand as a field. And so, and just know that like that vote and that outcome would not have happened without tireless and thankless effort on the part of those individuals. And so it's her. I can name her, but it's so much more than her. So
yeah, and that vote represents not only we now believe this, but you convinced us. You know, we heard you. We're listening to you.
We stand by you.
And that's a conservative number, because that number only represented the full members, not all the members, and the full members who were members for a certain length of time, right? And not including the like, and then the people who like, I have tons of friends who are no longer members because of this issue, right? And people clinicians who are like, I'm not a member of ABA. ABA is like too research based. I'm a member of like CalABA or my local chapter because it's more practitioner based, right? So because of that. And then people who aren't even a member of anything because they're just like, I don't know, man, I'm just focused on my casework and I take like online interviews and whatever, right? Like I'm just grinding. I'm just doing my job, right?
Water.
Exactly. And so it's just like, so I think that's like a really conservative number of saying 65% like think this way. We opened it up to our field or like a credential. So anyways, got a little sidetracked there. We haven't met since really that conversation.
We went to church for a minute. Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
We're back from
We're back.
So my last one is Andrew Solomon, also not a behavior analyst. This is Andrew Solomon is a journalist. He wrote a book that I think I've name dropped on the show before when we did book recommendations or something. But he wrote this book in 2012, and I think that's really important to remember. The book is called Far from the Tree, and it is about identity. But it delves into what it means to have identity if you have been diagnosed with autism, schizophrenia, if you have dwarfism, if you have intellectual disability, if you are homosexual. I mean, just looking at it from this very broad spectrum. And not only very broad, this is a long book. It took me a long time to read this book for a couple of reasons. One, because it goes through so much. It's like physically a long book. But also because it's broad spectrum, but also because it's so deep. It's so well researched. I have been amazed over and over and over again in just the pockets that he's talking about that I actually know something about, how thorough the research is or was in 2012. But the thing I really like about it is we talk about dispassionate discourse. What I feel when I do audiobooks, as I'm listening to this book, I hear passionate discourse from all angles. So even like the parents who chose to have their child surgically altered so that they could always be able to pick her up. So preventing growth, things, and some other kind of surgical elective procedures that I think the vast majority of the community would be like, oh, he didn't do that. He didn't judge. He went to those parents. He listened to them. He threw out, this is who they are. They're not villains. This is the need. This is the perspective. This is basically, let you walk through their shoes before you make the decision. If there are points of it where he summarizes after he goes through everybody's viewpoint on a different issue, where he says, here's what I think after listening to all of this. But I've never seen that much depth of so many polar opposite perspectives where they're all given equal weight.
Mhm.
And I think that's super impressive. And I think it's something that we don't always do or
Mhm.
ever.
Yeah.
I leave your bias and your judgment at the door, especially in I mean, I know I gasped a little bit when
Mhm.
you brought up the, topic. I think that's a difficult skill.
Mhm.
Surely it is. Yeah. But that's what journalism was supposed to be originally, right? It
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
supposed to be that. And um, I think it's a very hard thing to do, and my hat is off to him for doing it. But I also think
Yeah.
it's important, as hard as it will be to hear some of the perspectives, to actually listen for all of us, because I think everything that they talked about, of course, plays very nicely into it. It talks about autism identity and deaf identity and
Mhm.
things that we're still grappling with 10 years later.
Yeah.
So it's still a very meaningful book.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't
Read-
remember you. Yeah, I'm sure you
Yeah.
mentioned it, but not to that detail.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. In those beginning things, we don't go that much into
Yeah.
depth. But when you have a spare,
A
7
spare credit on my
to read,
audio book.
Audiobooks.
yes, it's
But
definitely
also the
worthwhile.
emotional bandwidth, because
Yes.
at times
That's
right now my audiobook credits go to like light and fluffy these days.
I definitely would go listen to some true crime in between chapters.
Mm-hmm.
Not even
Mm-hmm.
chapters. Like sometimes it's like an interview that he's reporting on. Like I need escapism for a while. But yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely worth the time.
Yeah.
All right.
okay.
Any
I have
closing?
my last.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
you're
Nissa
last. I'm
had one
sorry.
more.
Okay.
No,
Sorry.
I have one more, and it is someone I have never met. It's someone that I've just followed throughout my career. I see their posts on LinkedIn, and they're all always inspiring and great infographics and information. It's Dr. Brianne Hartley. A lot of the work done at Little Star, a lot of the different programs that are put out there have always been wonderful in my clinical practice in learning how to support and supervise and mentor aspiring behavior analysts as well as newly certified behavior analysts. And I just love what Dr. Hartley is putting out there for the field to kind of consume and repurpose for our own practice, our own organizations. So I love that and would love to meet you one day or have you on the show.
There you go. Well, I think this has been a very productive way to use our time, if for no other reason than we have we have put it out there. We would like to meet certain people.
Yeah, we have a list of people that we're going to buy
Yeah.
drinks for. Yeah.
And speaking of lists of people, those of you who are regular viewers and those of you who go and fill out the forms to get your CEUs, who are leaving comments for us and who are giving us recommendations, I see you too, and I really appreciate you for doing that. And I do pay attention to it. I do read it every month. And we're actually, one of the things that I'm doing at headquarters today is road mapping. So I think next time I'll probably have some exciting new ideas to throw out to our behavioral viewers and to Kerri and Nissa, because I haven't told you everything yet.
I can't wait.
Cliffhanger. But other than wishing everyone happy holidays, do you guys have any closing thoughts for the year? No pressure.
Enjoy the time off if you have it.
Mm-hmm.
And actually take the time off.
Yes.
Yes.
I think you're speaking to me. I feel like that was directed at me. I said that, but I need to take some time off.
I think it was also spoken to myself.
Enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, and if you are not going to be spending time with family and friends, enjoy your solitude, reach out somehow, find a way to find some joy in the holiday time, and we will be back next year with more fun content and more ways for you guys to interact, I hope.
And
Thanks,
hugs to
everyone.
my fellow hosts. I hope you guys have lovely holidays as well.
You as well.
This has been a really fun season.
It has.
I look forward to what we're going to do next year too.
I know.
Can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah.
I know. Hopefully y'all recommended some good things, because too adventurous. I don't know, man.
We're going skydiving. It's fine.
Oh my
It'll be fun.
gosh.
Live from the plane as we drop. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I bet you will have, if you're going to be putting comments in there, you can vote. Let us know.
Kerri will be the photographer on the ground.
I'll wear the GoPro.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll see you in 2023.
Thanks for watching this episode of The Behavioral View.